All right, little trivia to get us started. Take a look at this picture. Do you recognize it? If you do, you might be dating yourself. It's actually a picture of the Battersea Power Station in England, and it was built in the late 20s. It also is the picture that's on the 1977 Pink Floyd album cover Animals. Anyway, this plant was built in the late 20s to obviously supply electricity to England. And during the 40s, during World War II, they actually had to install covers to cover the smokestacks. And the reason for that was because the Germans would fly fighter planes over the country and do bombing. And they wanted to make sure that when they went dark, that these smokestacks weren't brightly glowing and the planes could easily identify the power station and bomb it. So they installed the covers so they could not do that. So fast forward, these covers remained on the smokestacks. And it wasn't until sometime in the 60s when a new plant manager came in and he was reviewing the line item of cost. And he noticed that they were paying about $100,000 per stack to clean the covers each and every year. And he says, well, why do we even have covers? And so he went to one of the older maintenance people in the plant and he asked him, he says, what's up with these covers? I don't see any reason for them. And why are we paying this much money? And he went on to tell that person that, well, they were installed for World War II and they really don't have any use now, but they kept them on there. So what can we learn from this story? Now, I know this pandemic may not be as it's different than World War II, of course, but just like World War II or major events that impact the entire world, they're really inflection points. And what we found during these major inflection points is it takes already existing trends and it accelerates them. For example, we saw people who maybe were super resistant to doing web meetings or using Zoom or things like that. Now we have grandparents who are now experts in it and they're meeting. So we also have people who would kind of shy away from doing any types of meetings, but you only had two choices: don't do the meeting or do the meeting during this entire lockdown. So that's just one example of how it's accelerated trends. And so as we think about our business, as we think about how we've done our business, it's easy for us to just think, okay, the lockdown's opening up. We're just going to go back and just do what we did. And you know what? That might be okay. This may also be a good time for us to step back and say, hey, do we have some covers on our smokestacks? What are we doing and how are we doing it just because we've always done it that way? How about our salons? They're in the same position. And as we evaluate and we have this inflection point in time, it may be a great time for all of us to slow down and just think about what we do, how we do it, and implement maybe some changes that could make things even better, where we can make more money, where we can have more fun, that we can partner with the right salons and spend our time doing the most productive activity. Now, this doesn't happen in the snap of a finger. It happens by making small changes and adjustments, but being aware of them, about being deliberate about them. And it's really a journey, right? It's being committed to making this journey and being open to potential blind spots and thinking about how can I do it even better. And so let me share with you a little bit about how I might be able to partner with you to help you on this journey as your business coach. So I've known Ward for about the last 20 years, and I've worked with him in various capacities. But one thing we have in common is we're passionate about helping business people be successful. Ward lives this every single day, and I know he inspires you and the people here at Bassett to do the same. You're passionate about this business. You're passionate about helping salon owners and stylists just be even better. I mean, you just, for whatever reason, this business is in your blood and you're stuck with it. And so you really want to embrace it. So when you look at the core of how our business runs is you are a business owner. And over the last 20 years, I've had the opportunity to be a business coach. So not only am I a business owner, so I have to eat my own cooking, but my business is looking for and partnering up with the right business owners to help them be even better, add value so they can accelerate and make the changes they need, or help them focus on the right activities that are going to help them be even more productive so they can actually make more income in less time and spend that extra time doing the things that really count to them. Maybe it's spending time with your family, and maybe it's just getting out to play golf more, maybe just go to the beach or go on nicer vacations. But at the end of the day, my role is really a business coach. And Ward and I have talked about it, and he would like to partner up and provide my kind of coaching and support to you as a business owner. Because as you come back, that's really the mindset we want to take is, hey, we want to help you develop your business. You're closest to the business. You're in the best position to make the changes. You're in the best position and perspective to put together plans that are going to help you be successful. We just want to support that. Now, as a business coach, what I help business owners do is focus on changing their perspective. Now, one thing, and I mentioned this down below, I'm not a beauty brand professional. So you will not come to me to talk about color treatments or how you might do certain, cutting techniques, or what's going on with the ingredients in maybe a hair color or a straightening treatment. I know enough to be dangerous, so I'm aware of the business because I've worked in the salon industry for the last 20 years, but I am not a brand professional. I'm a business coach, business professional. And what I do with business owners is I ask questions and I get them to think. Sometimes they're super obvious questions, but it's important to have someone who just takes you out of the day-to-day chaos and ask you these questions and say, think about that. Why is it you do that? And I help people just change their perspective a little bit. And sometimes the answers are obvious, and sometimes they take a little while. We got to marinate on things and sometimes experiment a little bit. But it's not just about, coming into the psychologist and talk about things, right? I really am fanatical about not only helping have these conversations, but turn those conversations into strategy and action steps. So based on what your new revelation or an insight or something that you've learned is, okay, what are you going to do this week? When can you do it, right? And I help business owners break that down into truly actionable next steps. So things they say, hey, I can do that. But because too often goals we set are daunting. Like, I want to do $2 million this year in salon sales, right? Well, that can be overwhelming, but I can help a salesperson like yourself slow down and think, well, you want to make 2 million, right? It starts with this next salon. Tell me a little bit about your plan for this next salon business visit, and what are you going to do to help them, be part of that $2 million, right? It starts with that one. We all know that, but sometimes it's just stepping out and thinking about it. And when we create strategies for one salon or one day of doing our route, or one phone call, when we can impact one and have success, that leads to two, that leads to 3 and 4, and so on. So how have I found it works best working with business owners and business professionals is to get a cadence going and really kind of get into a routine. Think of it as like going to a gym and working with a personal trainer. We will offer weekly sales huddles. And if you want to commit to this, it's going to require you to commit to these weekly sales huddles. The calls will be anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes long. In fact, I'll shut the phone off at 45 minutes. Whatever's done is done, right? So you can be assured we're not going to be on calls all day long. And we are going to have a very clear desired outcome for those calls. And that desired outcome is we share some ideas and practical things going on, maybe challenges, but by the end of that call, we all commit to putting something into practice in the next 7 days before the next call. So it's going to provide you the opportunity to exchange ideas, get ideas from other salespeople. We might have some guest people on board from time to time, but I'll kind of be the leader coach of this, and I'll drive those conversations and keep us on track. But week to week, we'll just work on what we do, how we do it, how we can improve what we do. In addition to that, I'm going to challenge people is just to think about what's your weekly game plan. It's easy to go into the week and just kind of status quo, right? You probably don't even need to, your car could probably drive in grooves almost back on your old route. Now that more than likely is going to change, right? But what we want to help people do is build a discipline of slowing down and thinking about, hey, what's my plan this week? What's a couple of things on my mind and how can I knock it out of the park? And I'll work with you on these. And we're not looking for extensive things, but what we more so, you're the business owner. You can choose to do these well or not do them. But what we found is when people have a strategy going into the week and they're even more deliberate about what they're going to do, they're going to get better results. And so that's what I hope to do as a business coach if you choose to be part of this. And then initially, so we can get on track, is we will do something we call daily temperature check. So this is going to where we just kind of send a quick note out to you, and we'll say basically, how's it going? Something you can respond in about 60 to 120 seconds, but it's kind of that checkpoint. And we might do these for the first week or two, and then together we'll decide what's the best approach. So are you excited about coming back? Well, we would love to work with you and help you be even better at what you do. And to get your feedback and thoughts and get you thinking, along with this video, there are some questions, and take as little or as much time as you want. I'm not asking it to be daunting, but if these questions get you thinking, and it's getting you excited about your business, then use them and spend some time on them. I'd love to hear your insights. I'd love to get your input and feedback. And if you don't have that much time, that's fine. Go through them and use them and give us your initial reactions. But that's all we ask. We'd love to know if you'd like to be part of this. And I can tell you that I will do everything I possibly can to help you be wildly successful and help you get off to a really fast start as we come out of this pandemic. I'm Bob Coakley, and I look forward to working with you to make 2020 fantastic.